Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And welcome to 2025, guys. We're going to talk about a couple of stories here. We didn't talk about it the first time around, but we're going to talk about it the second time around because apparently now the police have to get involved anytime somebody sells AI art at a convention.
Yeah, this is insane.
So we've got two stories within a week of each other. And the first one is going to be Dragon Con. They called the police on someone accused of selling AI art. And I'm hearing different stories from different people. It depends on who you ask, like what actually went on. But my understanding is there was a vendor selling art that was accused of being AI, but this person, other people said they sell original hand-drawn art as well as AI art, and they're pretty forthcoming with that. But apparently Dragon Con, again, depends on who you ask, had a policy against AI art, and they were asked to leave, and things got heated, and the police got involved. And so that we've got people cheering, like, yeah, get those art thieves out of Artist Alley. But I'm like, yeah, it kind of doesn't help your case any when you're right next to a vendor that's got, bootleg drawings of, Catwoman and Batgirl. And, what I'm saying?
That's the thing for me is because, anybody watches this channel knows I'm not huge on the AI thing. That being said, I think it's okay as a tool if it's trained on your stuff. Like there's a difference between stealing other people's stuff to train it and training on your own stuff. First of all, if you train on your own stuff, then it's not, I don't see the problem with it. Two, the hypocrisy of it all. I mean, as much as I personally wouldn't be there doing prints like that, I do understand that you're calling them art thieves. I've been to Artist Alley. I've been part of Artist Alley. Heck, I've been guilty of doing this myself. Your stuff won't sell, so you use other people's IP.
Yes.
You're stealing their IP.
Yeah.
Technically, you are.
Technically, you are, yes.
Most times, they're not going to care because you're not making enough money off of it to make it an issue. But you are. And if you're not doing that, you have these walls of print some people have that they clearly, all the art styles are different and they stole it from people online.
Yes.
You have that too. And they're not being booted out.
Yeah. So it depends on who you ask, but I think what shocked me so much about this, again, like you said, was the hypocrisy of it all. Because it's like if you're gonna claim that AI is stealing art, well, not everybody, but most of the vendors I'm familiar with at Artist Alley at cons over the years, and we did the con scene for years, most of them are technically selling stolen art as well. I guess as long as you steal it by hand.
Yeah, I guess you're drawing it yourself.
Thievery,
it's fan art, but
artisanal thievery. That it's okay. And the only reason that these big companies haven't cracked down is it's not worth it to them to do so. Now, I have heard that the bigger conventions like New York Comic Con, San Diego, that they were going to crack down a little bit harder because some of these people are making, six figures a year or more selling bootleg stuff. But if you're at a convention, you can't even cover your table costs and you're selling some, Catwoman prints or Harley Quinn prints, I don't think they give a shit. I think
I'm just saying it is a double standard. And like AI, I get it if you're just completely having it just generate everything from other people's work or, right off the internet. I get that. That would be shitty. I don't disagree with you. However, you can train AI to just be based on your work.
Yes, you can.
So it looks like your work, it's a continuation of your work. So you can use it as a tool to assist with your work. But it's not like just doing it whole cloth. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that is where I think eventually this is going to go. I think once everybody gets over, it's kind of like the NFT thing. Like everybody freaked the hell out about NFTs, and then it kind of calmed down, and we found a use for them or whatever. But I think that's going to happen with AI too, where artists will basically calm the hell down, realize that, okay, I can use this as a tool. I can use it as an inking assistant or a coloring assistant or something like that. Just basically a really fancy Photoshop filter. And people are using that already. So that's where I think it's going to go. I'm not talking about just lifting people's stuff.
Yeah, see, I don't have a problem with it if people are using it as based on their own. They trained it on their own stuff. My problem, unfortunately, though, most people don't do that.
Right.
Most people just have it generate whole cloth. And that's where I have a problem with
that's
it.
Or they put the prompt in.
Yeah,
hey,
I don't agree with. But if you have it trained
Harley
on your
Quinn
stuff. Or using it as a tool to color or to streamline or to, tighten up your own work, I don't see where that's a problem. The problem lies in the fact if you're just generating it based on other people's stuff, then that is an issue.
Now,
But
that
again, it's no different than just stealing people's prints. Or,
yeah.
you
So
know.
that being said, if the convention actually had rules that you were not allowed to sell AI art,
Yes, which apparently they did.
then you have to adhere to those rules.
Agreed.
Because I know we've been to shows before where they're like, you can't do any mass produced whatever. It has to be hand drawn original stuff, or it has to be, crafts that you made yourself or whatever. You can't just order a bunch of stuff from LTD. People do it. But now what I think happened in this particular case, somebody narked on them.
Oh, 100%.
100%, because there is a massive anti-AI sentiment now in the art spaces. And
when they got gone, when they put like a hand-drawn hashtag or something.
They put a hashtag up there that was like, I don't know where it was. I found it, but they were like, hashtag, here it is, hashtag vendor removed for selling AI art, hashtag art by humans. It's like, no, that's somebody bragging because they probably got them removed. So let's talk about this. Before you get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get woo if you do.
Woo.
And again, this isn't an isolated incident because it just happened last week at Fan Expo in Toronto, where I guess it was a phone company, tech company, Bell Canada, had basically an anime filter, AI anime filter, and there was like a protest, and they had to call the cops there too because there was like 12 weebs protesting.
But the difference was because it was a big company that spent a lot of money, they protected the company there. At the other place, they got rid of the AI person.
Yeah. I mean, this is like, look, it's gonna happen, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Like, everybody's using Snapchat filters now. It's being built into everything. You don't have to like it. I'm not telling you to just suck it up and love the AI. What I'm telling you is the reality of the situation is it's here. And all the studios are using it. I guarantee you all the comic book publishers in the very near future, to stay competitive, will also start using it, whether you like it or not. And
again, using it as a tool to improve your own work, and it's using your work, is not the same thing as just generating it whole cloth.
Yeah, now we've got, I mean, this is what's so wild about this whole discussion of AI in comics is you've got Marvel Comics editor Tom Brevoort saying that he's kind of, he's intrigued by AI, which means translation,
cheaper.
It's cheaper and it doesn't talk back.
Saves time.
It saves time. So, like, do you think, we're gonna just keep doing the hand-drawn art forever? No, I guarantee you Marvel and or DC is gonna flinch. They're probably doing it already. And they're just not getting caught yet. I know there was a Joker cover a year or so ago that people were like, oh my God, it's AI. But now what's going on is we've got these AI witch hunts where even people that are doing hand-drawn art are being accused of using AI. Art that was produced 10 years ago before AI existed is now being scrutinized. And they're accusing it of AI. So this whole thing is crazy. But this is what happened. So this is, let's see here. Is that Dragon Con? It was a vendor. I guess it was a woman. I think it was a husband-wife team. Oriana Gurez faced backlash and was asked to leave, sparking heated debate across social media platforms. Dragon Con currently lacks a clear public policy addressing AI in its artist alley or exhibition guidelines.
Well, I saw another one that said they had they added AI language.
They added it in 2024. So who the
I don't know.
Knows? I didn't go to Dragon Con. I don't know. I'm saying if it's in their guidelines that you're not allowed to, fine. But I'm like, did the police have to be called in? I mean, what the hell?
But
and
if
I guarantee
it wasn't in their guidelines, then they really could get themselves in a lot of trouble because if they didn't spell it out, depends where you look. Some say they did, some say they didn't. If they didn't spell it out that you couldn't use it or you'd be removed, they could be in a lot of trouble. So it depends whether the AI clause was in there or not. And if it was, then, I'm sorry, but they did say they could remove you for that.
So fellow vendor Dragon Con Dane of Monkey Minion, a favorite of Bleeding Cool EIC, Caitlin Booth, posted the aftermath of the show the day after, shared here with permission. So yeah, somebody put the sign on the table. What is this? Oh my God. El Bozo Cope Seethe. All my homies hate AI. Boo this man. Oh my God. They're just like, so this is just say no to AI slop. AI is not art. Um, AI images instead of art. This is okay. Somebody narked on this person.
Looks
That's
like
what
a lot of
happened.
people did.
While social media, yeah. So while social media did not seem apologetic, posting I'd share a screenshot of my sales this weekend, but you don't have to show it to give any explanations to you losers. You guys are sore because you don't sell shit and will be forever broke. Have fun being a broke bitch. Ouch. Okay, well that's not nice.
About who?
About the artist that got him canceled from the show. This is the guy hot dogging, I guess.
Okay.
Their Instagram's now private, and the CV on their website's been removed. The website includes artwork. Certainly doesn't seem. Yeah, the website includes artwork that certainly doesn't seem to be AI generated. Again, these are accusations, and there does seem to be some disconnect between the website and the work on display. So Dragon Con doesn't. This is coming from Bling Cool. Okay, so just take it for whatever. I'm not responsible for this. Dragon Con doesn't seem to have a clear AI policy on the website, but last year, Cedar Sanderson's cover for the novel Goblin Market was a 2024 Dragon Awards finalist in the Best Illustrated Book Cover category. About 5 minutes after the ballot was listed, people pointed out it was AI, and it was gone. Dragon Con co-chair Dave Cody stated at the time, "We recognize that AI is a new tool with enormous potential, and society will eventually come to a consensus about how it should be used."
Basically, we know people were pissed about it. It's going to be a tool. It's going to be everywhere. But for now, since you're pissed,
That is pretty much
translation.
I'm gonna be honest. The reason that people aren't jumping on the train faster, or at least not being public about it, is because we've got people in Artist Alley complaining. We got animators complaining. They're still using it. Mark my words. And I know this is true. These studios, these publishers, they're still using it. They're just not broadcasting it. And they're trying to see how much they can get away with without. Look at Hasbro. Oh, that's not AI art. Yeah, it is. Okay. Sorry, guys. We won't do it again. We promise. Oh, that was AI art too. Oh, whoopsie doopsie. I guess we didn't understand.
We didn't know when we hired them.
We didn't know we hired the AI artist whose name was AI artist and whose social media handle Swedish.
Accidental.
Swedish penis pump, Kara of Austin Powers, or
it's just like they're gonna keep doing it until it is widely accepted, and it's gonna be eventually, because all these tools usually are. And again, there's a huge difference between using it on your own stuff with your own, teaching it on your own things, and not swiping other people's stuff and using it as a tool, and then just going outright and just being a tool and using it to swipe people's stuff. There's a difference. Unfortunately, most people are going to go use it to swipe people's stuff. That's the problem. And that's where I have a problem with it.
But the same could be said of the people who have the walls of prints that are not theirs. Which, again, those people do get sometimes ejected from conventions. So if you're selling stolen artwork, that honestly, here's where it's a slippery slope. Because if you say you can't steal art, and if you consider AI art theft, then also the unlicensed prints and stuff, that would also be considered.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like
art theft.
And I totally get where they're coming from on the AI thing, and I get it. But yeah, it's kind of hard to argue that those people should be removed from the con, even if there's no language in there about it, then they shouldn't have been removed. If there was, then they have grounds. If they didn't have it in the contract or in the website, then they really shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between that and then willfully using IP that doesn't belong to you to sell merchandise, or using prints that you stole, art you stole offline, and it got printed and to sell it on your booth as your own. There's no difference to me. If you're mad about AI and you think it's theft, the other ones are, I would argue, even more so. Because the other ones the AI is trained on lots of things. You can't pinpoint to one, but those things are deliberately stolen.
So if you ape another artist's style, or you learn to draw from other comic book artists, I'm just saying, like, devil's advocate here, it's like you're kind of doing the same thing, right? I mean, you're kind of...
That's kind of true. But that's how they always taught people how to do art. Like, back in the day, that's what they would do, to learn. I don't know. It's a very, very, very slippery slope. I think this one comes down to, did they have AI clauses in their contract and on their site before?
If they broke the rules of the convention...
They should be removed. Yes.
and they were being belligerent, then yes, I could see a cop coming. If they actually broke the rules and they were being belligerent. If it's just a case of a bunch of people getting them canceled because they don't like AI art and they caught wind that it was AI art, and they
Or they assumed it was AI art.
or they assumed it was AI art, then that is not cool if they weren't breaking the rules. So what's going to happen though is we're gonna see a boomerang effect where we're gonna have people push it too far with this AI witch hunting, that they're actually going to put themselves out of work because people aren't going to work with them, because they're going to be like, doesn't matter if I sit down and show you I drew the fucking thing by hand, you're still going to accuse me of using AI, or I put it together in Photoshop, which has AI components. Oh my God, I used a filter. Is that considered AI? And at that point, like, yeah, it's gonna be like, you're too fucking difficult.
Vectored it. Oh my God, it's AI.
It's AI. You vectored. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this same thing kind of sort of happened, but not to this extent. When we made the transition from analog art to digital art, there was a whole thing where analog artists did not believe digital artists were real artists. Yeah, hard to believe, but 20 years ago, your predecessors working in comics would have been like, you drew that shit with a tablet, it's not real art. You drew that in Photoshop,
it's not real because it's not it doesn't
real.
physically exist. It's not real.
Right. And so I mean, we can nitpick, but to call the police, unless the person was actually breaking the agreement and had to be escorted because they're being belligerent and ridiculous,
which might be the case.
Which might have been the case. I don't know. Nobody seems to have a straight story on this. I mean, I've seen like 4 different versions of what went down. I think long short of it is, I think some other artists got ass mad. They probably saw the guy was making a lot of money. They couldn't stand it. So, and we know how, like, look, I'm going to be honest. We know how Artist Alley works. We know that there's a lot of jealousy and pettiness, and
there's a lot of good people too. I want to
there are a lot of
we've been next to people that were great. We've been next to people who stole our food before too, which is a whole other story.
But it is kind of a dog eat dog thing, because if they're buying from somebody else, they're not buying from you.
Pringles.
What's that? Yeah, they
Neighbor
took our
eat Pringles thing. Yeah,
they stole our Pringles. We've had some very good neighbors, but not those people. Literally, we're not joking. We were at a con, and we were actually selling really well. And we actually had comic books. Nobody else at the comic convention had comic books, and we were selling comic books. And we went, I think, to just take a lap around.
We went home that night.
We went home that night. That's right. We came back, and some asshole
our chips
ate
were
all
gone, and it was the
Pringles.
neighbor ate the people saw him. The neighbor ate all our chips.
Neighbor ate our chips,
and they left it on their table. They left the can on their table.
They left the empty can on our table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, people actually on Reddit are trying to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. They said, my position's unchanged. I said the vendor agreement banned the sort of thing. It sucks to suck. If it didn't, I hope they're able to recoup their money through a lawsuit if need be. This person says, thanks for being reasonable. Speaking to the whole sub here. The issue is, if Dragon Con is violating a contract and can get away with it because of an unfounded claim, this is not an argument for or against AI. I hate that people think they're contributing just by saying, yeah, fuck AI. I are an activist instead of looking at the situation critically. The mob mentality of social media scares me a lot more than AI. That's actually true. Again, we've got people that are being demonized that are not using AI. We've got 10-year-old, 12-year-old pieces of art being scrutinized now by people that really, and then you look at their own ability. I'm like, well, it's no wonder you can't tell if it's AI or not, because you suck and you don't understand how this shit's actually put together.
But again, like they're bringing up too, like if the contract didn't have that in there, they didn't violate anything. Nothing that warranted being booted and having police show up.
Yeah, so this apparently the seller uses girlfriend's name, sent a video to the con using AI tools. It says extremely common for small vendors to be operated by a couple. Yes, we did that. Yeah, so this is going to be a really interesting thing, because what's going to happen now, regardless of whether or not he was violating anything, is that we're going to have people, Artist Alley, all over the place now, going on witch hunts for people and trying to look at people's art and be like, well, that's AI art and you need to get gone and you need to whatever.
Yeah, leaving this comment. A warm, heartfelt goodbye to the AI artist to scam so many people this weekend. How are they scamming them? Because the art isn't copyrighted. it sucks because people think that they did the art, but some of them might have done it and you're just wrongfully accusing them. I don't know if that's the case here, but a warm, heartfelt goodbye to all the artists who stole IP. A warm, heartfelt goodbye to all the artists who are stealing other people's prints.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have the, if, and I'm not saying everybody, because there are a lot of people who exhibit at Artist Alley and they draw their own stuff or they sell their comic books or their crafts or whatever. But if you are selling prints of characters that you do not own, you're really no better than the AI artist. I mean,
I would give people a pass even more on like if you're making like little trinkets or things, because you have to alter it. Usually for that stuff, you can't make it look exactly like it usually, but like prints you can. And there's people who have way before AI. So I know it's not AI, but they do art pieces that they either worked in the comics industry or they can nail the character and make it look exactly like the character. And then they would sell it. And it's like, personally, I don't have a problem with it because you're not like making a lot of them. But people are arguing about theft, but that's basically what you're doing.
It's not basically, you're actually infringing on copyright. It's just that the copyright holder has not chosen.
Yeah, in that case, you actually are infringing on copyright. The AI stuff's not even copyrighted. And again, you don't know if they used their own style to train it. You don't know that it was trained on their own art.
Yeah, so this is where it's going to get really sick, because what might happen, you want to talk about the boomerang effect. What might actually happen is you push it really hard, and the next thing you know, all art theft, quote unquote, is banned from a convention.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and they're going to be like, you know what? We can't tell the difference between what's stolen, what's not stolen. All we know is, the Star Wars stuff and Marvel stuff, that's all copyrighted. Nobody can sell anything that's owned by somebody else. You have to be the copyright holder. And there are some conventions that will not let you sell anything unless you actually own the characters, like your own self-published stuff. So,
and then and again, this stuff is you can't copyright AI.
No. So
I mean, I'm not trying to agree. I mean, I'm not agreeing with it if you're using completely generated stuff that you have no input in, or that it's not based on your own stuff. I think that's bullshit. That being said, they have more of a ground to stand on, that they're not stealing, than somebody who is actually legitimately using AI, using our IP characters and stuff. Yeah. So it's a very tricky thing.
Yeah.
And it all boils down to were they being belligerent? Were there rules against AI that they knew about? And or people or was it even AI to begin with? That's the question.
Yeah. So it's gonna be really interesting. I think this is gonna end with potentially the end of Artist Alley. I think what will happen is they'll be like, you know what? Let Bell come in and have their whatever, because they're paying us a lot more.
They're a big company that's going to pay a lot of money, and they want them to come back, so they're going to let them do it. They're going to be like, screw you, protesters there. But when it's little Artist Alley people, well, if a couple of them complain, we'll remove them.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. And so, like I said, is that boomerang effect. You start complaining, sometimes it bites you in the ass too. I'm just saying. Are we gonna wrap this up?
Yes.
Let's wrap this up. So love it, hate it. I don't give a shit either way. Just police,
we're just playing devil's advocate here. Is all we're trying to do.
Yep. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.